It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org. I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
I'm John DeSando.
This is Cinema Classics.
And I think
Yeah.
The Irishman is the movie of the year.
Wow. Yeah, how about it? I mean, we waited so long for this movie. I was really hesitant because, you know, we had read about the budget. It was the most expensive movie Netflix ever produced.
$150 million.
That most of that budget was sunk into these de-aging effects to de-age its 3 stars and others, De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci.
Yeah.
And I started to get really sort of worried whether this movie was going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is, and everyone pretty unanimously says it's great.
It's a classic. It is Goodfellas and then more, I think.
Yeah, do you think, you know, one of the things I felt watching this movie was this is the Unforgiven of gangster movies. Did you get that feeling?
No, but I do now.
You know what I mean? Okay, so think about Scorsese's other gangster movies, of which, by the way, everybody thinks that this guy has made gangster movies like crazy. He's only made a handful in the span of his 50-year career. Mean Streets is the first one, back in 1972, put De Niro on the map. And that's a sort of scrappy indie movie. Very visual, very punchy, good drama, but character-driven, and really just establishes him and De Niro as major forces.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Then we don't really get a gangster movie from him until Goodfellas. So there's like a 20-year period between those two movies.
An indication of the art and impact of those films.
And I think you could really say Goodfellas distills the Scorsese experience, right? And then Casino, his follow-up, which is sort of an epic version of Goodfellas with some tweaks on the tone.
Yeah.
This one is a lot quieter, a lot softer. You know what I mean? And even visually it's muted in a way that those movies are not.
Well, don't you think he's caught the aging process of both his genre and his actors and himself? And I think you're right. It has the pace of an older man. And it opens up with him in the home, right?
Yeah.
Reminiscing.
Right. So you remember the classic tracking shot in Goodfellas where he takes her down to the kitchen, right? And it's like dazzling. This opens up with a tracking shot in a nursing home.
Yes, yes. And he returns at the end of the film. I mean, so to me, he didn't seem to be able to escape that he has matured. Mm-hmm. And that his stars have matured. Yeah. And I think with the de-aging process, you know, he definitely goes back in time, of course, and these guys are such good actors. You believe every second of it. Yeah. And, so I think, you're right. And I think that it is a slower film, a more contemplative film, and one, when you consider how much more serious, I would say this, arguably, more serious our times are, when you consider the corruption of politics now, it is a time for more reflection than it is the kind of the end of is it Taxi Driver? Yeah, right. It doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen for his films.
And
right?
you know, and all of the previous Scorsese gangster movies, I think you could argue, are about the allure of this lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And the sacrifices, both moral, ethical, and personal, that you have to make, you know, and the consequences of them.
That's right.
And this one is less about the allure and more about the sort of moral, the moral charge you have to pay.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, De Niro just evokes this man who no longer has a way of thinking what's right and wrong. He's when the order comes down, you do it.
Right.
You don't ask.
Yeah.
You know, this is just what you do. He's like, as Scorsese puts his camera on De Niro so many times, De Niro gives you the sense that he no longer is in charge of his life. He's just the hitman.
Yeah, it's great. He's finally out of control.
Yes.
And that's what I mean. That's what's so beautiful about Scorsese's contributions to this genre, is how he takes these players, these iconic actors, and then just tweaks their roles a little bit and the dynamics of them, and it changes the whole feel of the movie, right? Because here's Pesci. Pesci is totally in control now. And what a beautiful performance by him.
Well, let's do a show
oh my
on him.
God. Let's do a show.
Our next show.
Our next show is on that guy.
Yeah.
What a knockout performance, right? Because it's so quiet, so powerful. It's the opposite of the characters he played in Goodfellas and Casino.
Well then, here's a question I have for you. People who aren't as nerdy as we are about Martin Scorsese and his gangster films are going to be concerned about the 3.5 hours.
Well, they shouldn't be, right?
Okay.
This
now,
movie
how do
plays
we
like gangbusters.
Then how?
Because
convince them.
a story well told does not make you feel the time it's taking to tell it, right? A story well told just unfolds. It keeps unfolding, and you just want to be there. Look, here's my argument. How often do people binge watch 7 hours or 10 hours of shows
and that's
in a row?
That's a good argument.
So, like, you can do this. It doesn't ask too much of you. It's a very entertaining movie. As you said, it's very thoughtful and it's extraordinarily well done.
I remember years ago, back in the 90s, when I took my son, Eric, to see Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
So concerned because it was 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is just going to be, what's his name?
Kevin Costner.
This is just going to be Kevin Costner indulging himself.
Right.
It was beautiful, and I wove through those 3 hours. I said, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
How do you get somebody to sit there now 3.5 hours? How do I sit there and enjoy myself for 3.5 hours?
Listen, here's the thing. I've sat through movies that are 90 minutes and felt longer than this.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. The temporal unfolding of a story doesn't matter. It's how you experience it.
Yes.
And this one is so great. It resonates with so much of our cinematic history.
Yes.
And and it's like, again, it's just a story well told. Now, here's the thing I want to say, because of gangster nerdism,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And just heavy hitter actor nerdism. Everybody's always wanted to see Pacino and De Niro together on screen. Now, they did it. They were on screen. They shared the screen in. Well, they didn't share it in The Godfather 2.
Okay.
Right? They total separate storylines, so they never act together. It didn't happen until Michael Mann's Heat.
Heat, yes.
Right, which is mostly a chase, and they get one scene together in the middle.
Do they really? Because I looked for that, a 2-shot with the two of them in there. I was dying for it. I don't know.
But yeah, right, because it cross-cuts between them. So then they did make one more crappy movie called The Score or something like that. It was garbage.
Yeah.
At the premiere of which, De Niro knew it was crap and leaned over to Pacino and said, "We got it. Next time, let's make it right. Let's do something. Let's do something we both care about." It's this movie. Scorsese gives us this sly, I think, little inside joke, right? Because we finally get them sharing the scene together. They're in their pajamas in a bedroom.
Nice.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, look at him.
So I started to chuckle at that because I thought, this guy knows.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
I would say finally about that length.
Yeah.
With Scorsese, there are two things about that I need to say. First of all, if you're going to be immersed in this culture, you have to spend time with it. And I think that's what Scorsese demands of you as a viewer. Come sit with us. Take a look at De Niro. He's not running around shooting everybody. He shoots now and then, no blood. But you got to sit there. You got to watch it. You got to watch and think. And the second thing is, I hate to admit it, but this is a good movie for Netflix.
Yeah, and I feel like they did with Hateful Eight, which is also a very entertaining long movie.
Yes,
they'll break it up. You'll be able to watch this movie, I believe, at some point in a serial form.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they'll break it up into like episodes.
All right. Oh,